Hello everyone. Welcome to Tarot by Cecilia on Patreon and Facebook members only. This is your love and finance tarot guidance for the month of July 2018. And what a month it promises to be. These next couple are going to be some doozies. Now, as we begin the month on the 5th, we will see Chiron, which is currently in the sign of Aries, retrograde. And that will be through December the 9th. But I want you to take note, if you're, one who likes to mark these things on your calendars, that on September 25th, it will be retrograding back into the sign of Pisces. On the 7th of July, Mercury will enter shadow. Mercury is currently in the sign of Leo, and that is also where it will be retrograding. On the 9th, Venus will enter Virgo to remain through August the 6th. Then on the 10th, we will see one of our retrograde planets go direct, and that will be Jupiter. On the 12th, there will be a new moon, partial solar eclipse in the sign of Cancer. And that will be the first of 3 eclipses that we will be having for this eclipse season. As I said, this month, next month, a couple of doozies. I will have a lot to talk about with these, and so I want to let you know to also look for not just my eclipse videos for each one, but one big encompassing all video as well. On the 22nd, later in the day, the sun will enter Leo to remain through August 23rd. Then on the 26th, Mercury begins its retrograde in the sign of Leo, and that will be through August 19th. On the 27th, we will have a full moon total lunar eclipse, and that will be in Aquarius. There's much to talk about with this one when the time comes. So, as July begins, I want to say one thing. I don't feel like it's everything, because I feel like you've made a great deal of progress with so many things, but is there one thing that has you a little bit of down, where you feel like your mojo's just not working, like you're being held back, a little bit trapped, and you're like, okay, well, let me just, go with the universe and see where it takes me and what is going on. It's kind of like, how sometimes I talk about the Houdini effect? It's like you feel like you're not escaping it. And it's related to those hard times that you had before. But intuitively, you're past the hard times. It's just like this one thing. It's just, like when something just bugs you. Like, why can't I just meet that right person? I have done everything else I need to do. Or, why isn't this happening? Why isn't that happening? I think it's one of those things that's on its way. So, I want to say be patient. I don't see being patient here, but that doesn't mean that it can't help. And there it is. So, there's a lot of, I want to call it competition, but it's more like struggles to succeed. Sometimes it's about timing. Like I said, it's about patience. The goal is still there. And the security that you seek within your goals is available to you. Now, as I look at this, I feel very strongly about the new moon. I feel there is tremendous success with something before that new moon arrives. So it's like something suddenly gives in your favor. Now, I have to tell you, because we have so much going on, if you've listened to my Uranus and Taurus video, and you know where Uranus and Taurus falls for you, there is something shaking things up for you. Around the time of that total lunar eclipse that's coming later in the month, that would be the one in Aquarius. It's a challenge, but it also provides a rebirth. But it's shaking up, the form of security that you have. But I think in a good way, because it's putting you, ultimately in a more solid place. So it's a good thing sometimes when life is reborn a little bit, it's not always easy to go with the idea of it. Here's the thing. When it comes to change, we all sit every day and say, boy, I wish this was different. I wish that was different. I'd like to have some change. But then at the same time, we kind of remain in the same spot, thinking, it's like it just can't be. It's like, 2 people standing in the same place at the same time. You can't have change if you don't have change, right? Now that should make some sense there when you stop and really think about it. You know, but that's just it. You're ready to take, I want to say, to take the wheel, like to take charge of your own journey. You know, you kind of have a little bit of a roadmap thing going on there. And that's a good thing, okay? Definitely a good thing. You know, you've been through so much. I'll tell you what, it's like when I look at this, it's like after all of this, I feel like I need to consider my next moves very, very carefully. Okay, I think there's nothing wrong with that. Think of it as a game of chess, and like you want to make every move count. So you're very aware that you don't want to make a wrong move because it could throw things off balance. It could throw the plans off balance. So there's a lot going on here. And you have to remember, this entire month is eclipse season, okay? So what does that mean? Kind of like, you know, going with the flow a little bit with relationships, trying to be easygoing. It's not always an easy thing to do, especially around the time of a full moon. So, yeah, there is change everywhere that I look. Change, new beginnings, and, you know, a lot of information, a lot of messages coming your way. You know, heeding those messages, that's just the thing, because it's so hard with this many retrogrades and you know, all these eclipses to be totally clear as to what's going on. I don't think things are really clear until like September is how I see it here, okay? But, you know, as the month begins, yeah, there's something worth celebrating. And, you know, it could very well just be being around the right people, finding like-minded people. You know, there's a great deal that I see on, you know, social media like Facebook and all of that, where people, you know, try to have a healthy debate about their differences, okay? And, you know, say that they, you know, they still want to think the same of people, you know, with whom they've discovered that they have differences of opinion. I got a feeling, I mean, it's been bad already. Something tells me this continues, this assessment of relationships. And in all honesty, you know, the problem here, and this is in everybody's lives, so this is why it's here. The problem is not around the differences of opinion themselves. It's around the moral standards to which some people hold themselves and others do not. And that's where the controversy is coming in. So I believe you will see a lot of instances where there are people here today, gone tomorrow, those who sever ties, you know, that you thought perhaps would not be broken. There's a lot of people involved in this, okay? It's people coming, people going, and, you know, various facets of personalities showing up, okay? You know, I always say the good guys win, but let me tell you something, it's a long road, it's a very hard road to see that happen, but the change is coming. Now, the question that I'm asking myself here is if it's in July, and it could be some form of a big takedown, I want to say by November. Just watch what's going on in your environment. I'm telling you, if you start to look at people as to how you would categorize them by, you know, their behavior, you know, their compassion, their kindness, their lack of it, their ability to lead, all these different things, you know, are they bullies? You know, what's going on with their personalities? That person who can be nasty, foul-mouthed, the bully, that's the one. That's the one that's going down, okay? And anybody else that's too close. So that's what I'm saying. Good will win. Expect more women to stand up and take power. So some very interesting times ahead. And, you know, I'm not saying this all like this is on a global level, although I think you're going to see it that way. But you're going to see it on a personal level as well, because these are the way things are transforming within our society. So big cycles, beyond cycles, okay? It just sets it. It's timing. It's all about timing and karma. So I think by like October, late October, you're going to know quite a bit, because I think by November you're saying, like, here when the time changes, that kind of thing, something feels important at that time, you know, like tail end of October, beginning of November. So interesting times coming indeed. But you know, the catalyst for all this is here. It's with these eclipses that are taking place within the next 8 weeks. And I don't want to do like a happy days are here again kind of thing, but I'm of the feeling that things, once we go beyond, you know, say the last eclipse at the end of next month, when we start to see the, you know, the retrogrades dwindling bit by bit, you know, there's this, it just, the brightness just grows and things become more favorable. Now, I know I said that there will be a, you know, very in-depth reading for, you know, the eclipse season itself, for the 3 eclipses, but I have to tell you, you know, when we get to September, while the new moon in Virgo will not be in eclipse, it will be at a critical degree, and it's going to signify fresh new beginnings for many, many people out there, and you are probably one of them. You know, so, you know, whatever you see going on now that gives you pause and makes you wonder, you know, which way to go, what to do, and don't worry about it. It'll all be figured out by then, and then even more so by the end of the year. Doing the job right, okay, doing the job right and having all of the facts is going to be probably the mother of all whatever events that's coming, and it's coming soon. We could see it as soon as August here. There's a lot to be learned too from the intricacy of doing things right. Like I said, you know, you're gonna watch. It's almost like you're able to navigate this, but as you're going through it, the things that are taking place to me are absolutely amazing. You know, facts that emerge are about the past. Keep that in mind, okay? You know, I don't want to say, like, you know, someone's being hung out to dry, but if you're guilty, you're guilty, and that's going to come out, and, you know, there's a whole new territory that's being explored here. I'm just saying, you know, if you've been, and you've heard me say this before, but perhaps in a very long time, I think one of the things that this eclipse season is going to show us is that if you have been living on the right side of your path and doing the right things, then you're headed in the right direction. And that's where all that brightness comes in. I'm telling you, the karma is like good luck coming your way. But mind you, if you have not, that karma is coming for you, and a whole lot more. It's bringing reinforcements. Let's just put it that way, okay? So I'm going to say that watching July and August play out is going to be one for the history books, you know, where you'll feel like you should be writing a book as a result of all of the events which are taking place. You know, very, very interesting times and changes. Intuitively, you know what it is that you need to manifest, and you're going to go about it in a very creative fashion. You know, the thing that gets a little bit tricky here with this is that, you know, that the timing may not be right for moving forward with some things, and yet there are others where you may feel as though you're propelled forward at a very rapid pace. Okay, now I gotta tell you, if you take an unpopular stance, all right, I think over July and August, you could feel as though you're being assaulted from all sides. You know, that's kind of like having that unpopular opinion. You know, it feels anti-establishment, you know, like going against the rules, that type of thing. There's something going on here. There's a lot of lessons to be learned with whatever it is that's happening over these next 8 weeks. And this reading very much wants to incorporate more than just July, because it's sort of like an ongoing saga that's playing out here. And, you know, it's like once in a while you just feel like you need a break from it, okay? And you know, that's how crazy it seems to be. But you know, here's the thing, it's like, I wouldn't take what you perceive as a victory for granted, but I wouldn't worry about it as much either, you know, as in overthinking. I feel that whatever's coming your way, you know, you justly deserve, good or bad. Now, you have divine inspiration coming your way before, I want to say before the new moon in September, probably much sooner than that, okay? You know, this signifies your new beginnings, like a super fresh start. I'm telling you, it's like one of those things, you can't see it right now as July is beginning, because you're still trying to figure out. I'm telling you, you're like Houdini, trying to extricate yourself from that, you know, a padlock chest that they change in underwater, because that's how it feels. And you're like, I don't know. But you know what? Yeah, you have what it takes to do this, and you do reach your goal. I think that once things start going and we get into all these eclipses, you're going to be amazed at, you know, the number of things that are happening, and that feeling that you can't even keep up, you know, with the momentum, with the news of everything that's going on. So, you know, your future is on its way, and it's a wonderful future. All right. I'm just, there's some things I don't want to tip my hand. I know, call me crazy. Maybe I'd rather talk about them another day, another time. But I think that you really see things being done properly. That's just the best way I want to put it for the moment. Okay, like I said, I don't want to give it away. But there is, you know, choices that are yours. And it's a wonderful, wonderful feeling. And that's probably by late August, early September. And turning your back on some very painful things. So, you know, I just see it is possible to feel really good about yourself again. And I'm not saying that, you know, most of you, I think you've achieved a better level of confidence and all of that. But, you know, what I'm seeing here with all of these karmic events taking place is that many of you over the coming months are going to see those confidence levels grow and those horizons expand as you really step into more of you, the who you were meant to be. Okay, nothing wrong with that. You know, change comes into our lives so that we don't become stagnant individuals. To want your life to remain the same forever and ever, well, it'd be absolutely boring, to be honest with you. Okay, sometimes we do go through great upheaval in order to achieve change, and maybe that's not always the most fun way, but when we learn to accept it and to move into the next part, there are some truly wonderful things that are waiting there for us. So I want to urge you greatly, I want to say it again, watch all the people that are around you. I'm not saying as in a matter of trust. Just think of everybody as like players in a game and what their role is, like the story. If you go through your day every day and you tell a story about what's going on in your job, your family, your home, each individual has a story, and each individual they come in contact with has a story. So you see how how I always talk about the threads of the universe. Here's something, okay? Everybody knows I'm a Scorpio, so I love crime dramas, okay? And you always see everybody, they've got their little crime boards up there, and all the people that are involved in the case, and all the information that are, you know, about the people. That's kind of like what is going on around you observationally in this coming month, is looking at all those different players and the part that they play, whether they be good or they be bad, and what they contributed to what is happening. And I think there is some reason that it is essential for you to be able to do that. I think to weed them out, because, you know, when eclipse season is over with, we never have all of the same people in our lives. There's always some who are gone, and there's always new ones who have come in. But this is going to be a prime example of the tangled web which the universe weaves. And you're going to have a front row seat. You're going to be a part of it, you know, like an audience participant, okay? So this is definitely, I've never talked about eclipse season in this way. So this is a very interesting time that's coming, a very interesting month. I think it has a lot of bright spots. I think especially around the new moon. I do believe that you can take steps towards success this month. I think you already have been, but this month you get to see some victories along the way. Like I said, the opportunities, they're there. You know, it's a tricky thing because you have so many retrogrades. But I think if you can follow the basic rules of those retrogrades and, you know, without having to go really deep into the astrology and just following the cards, have that basic understanding where you don't make moves that are just wasting your time, that type of thing. Because pretty much what, you know, the bottom line here is that everyone wants to feel as if they have some form of control over their life. Not to be in control of another, but just of themselves, you know? So the victories to achieve that are here, and what everybody's looking for is happiness, hopes and dreams, those types of things. And, you know, that sense of power, it's almost like a self-nurturing power, where you just feel a little more comfortable with everything around you. Perhaps not having to, you know, worry every day about how much money is in the bank or that type of thing, you know. And there's even, I want to say, indulging a little bit, okay? Indulging in things that make you happy. And I think they're things kind of like, you know, fantasies, and not, you know, absurd ones. Just what makes you happy. So you might want to write some of this down along the way, because I think that you're going to, on all levels, see shifts with balance of power. Like I said, with people, pay attention to the players, because the players are going to change. There's going to be new people stepping in, and there will be some people gone that perhaps you thought, oh, that will never happen. Yeah, it's going to happen. Okay, so I'm just saying, this is a very, very active month. You know, the last couple of years, we've had a pretty quiet July. This is not going to be one. It has its pleasantries, but it also has its surprises, upheavals, speed bumps, and twists and turns. You know, so where you are now and where you are come the new moon in September are two very different places. So all I can say is stay tuned and listen to the rest of the guidances that are out there to help you along your way. I want to thank you very much for being here. Take care. I'll see you soon.